Welcome everyone, this is on Just Restart. And yes, this time we're going into speculation about what could be that big new secret project that Ishihara was talking about at the end of the Pokemon Presents. Sure, we got some nice, neat little announcements, and we just got the Pokemon DLC, and we finally got an announcement for Pokemon Snap. This is all very exciting, and I thought that was more than enough. But apparently, there's something else. Something else that's going to get its own presentation next week on the 24th. So what's it going to be? Well, that's kind of hard to say. It's still up for debate for sure. But the speculation right now, what a lot of people are sort of buying into, is that it may be a presentation announcing Let's Go Johto, Gen 2 remakes in the Pokemon Let's Go style. This might be the case. I feel like there's a fair bit of compelling evidence to support this theory, but there's also other possibilities as well. So we're going to be talking all about that today. What exactly could be that secret project that we could be seeing next week? Now, before we jump into things, I want to quickly talk about my social media. There is a Twitter page, a Discord community, a Patreon page, and a Twitch channel. If you are interested in any of that, please check it all out. It is linked in the description below. Now, to get things started, I first want to talk about the other possibilities, and then we'll delve into all the evidence supporting Let's Go Johto remakes coming. So, firstly, we never got any news on Pokemon Sleep, so I feel like there's a possibility it could maybe be Pokemon Sleep. Another possibility is that it could be another game, maybe, for example, Gen 4 remakes. We've been waiting on Gen 4 remakes for quite some time. Maybe that's what they could be announcing next week. But I'll also say that because we're still getting the Crown Tundra later this year, it's felt like the focus for Game Freak and Pokemon Company in terms of the mainline experience for Pokemon this year has been the DLC. So I think it would be weird to announce a big brand new mainline Pokemon game to come out this year. I'm just not expecting it for a lot of different reasons, and we'll delve a little bit deeper into that later into the video. But my point is, it may not be a mainline general Pokemon game. It could be Gen 4 remakes or Let's Go Johto or something else. Maybe it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I'm skeptical because I feel like the focus for what's to come out this year is a DLC. So then what else could it be? We already talked about Pokemon Sleep, but would that really warrant its own separate presentation? They already had one for Pokemon Smile, and Pokemon Sleep would probably be along the same philosophy, using the Pokemon brand to encourage healthy habits. They could have launched another mobile game advertisement along with Pokemon Smile. I don't see why they could not have done that, and why they would have saved it for its own separate presentation. So I don't think it's Pokemon Sleep, and I'm skeptical of it being a mainline game because the Crown Tundra is coming out this year. So maybe it's not even a Pokemon game, maybe it's a new TV series or movie series or something else. Those are possibilities. However, I do feel like, given the presentation and what it was talking about all games and how they said they had another announcement, another product to announce, I do feel like it's more likely going to be a video game project. So if I had to hedge my bets, I am going to bet that we are going to get another video game announcement next week from Pokemon Company. But I don't think it's going to be a spin-off either. We just got Pokemon Snap 2. I'm not expecting another major spin-off to be announced next week, like a new Pokemon Stadium or something like that, or another Pokémon tournament. And even if it were to be those things, I feel like they could have just announced that during this presentation. So what would warrant its own separate presentation? Well, the thing that I don't think really makes sense, another mainline Pokemon game. But here's the thing, I'm assuming that if they were to make this announcement next week, that it would come out this year, but maybe it won't come out this year. And actually, I don't think it would. I think if it is, say for example, Let's Go Johto, what would happen is they would focus on the Crown Tundra for the holidays, as it's slated for November, and then maybe early next year, say around March, they'd come out with Let's Go Johto. Now, the interesting thing about this is that if they were to do that, then Game Freak would be changing around when they come out with Pokemon games. In the past, they would normally come out around the holiday time, because usually, on the handheld systems for Nintendo, the Pokemon games were the big holiday release. But now that Pokemon games, the mainline ones, are going to be on the Nintendo Switch, there are other potential games to be the big holiday release, like Breath of the Wild, or Mario, or Metroid, or Smash. Things of that nature could also be the big holiday game. So maybe Game Freak is now thinking about when they could position Pokemon to come out at different times of the year, perhaps like an early 2021 release for this potential Pokemon Let's Go Johto. So maybe that's what's going on here. Maybe we are going to get a mainline Pokemon release, be it Gen 4 remakes or Gen 2 remakes or what have you, but they're not going to be coming up for the holidays, but rather a little bit later into 2021. It's also possible that Game Freak and Pokemon Company just don't care about the DLC and they'll still have a mainline Pokemon game come out on top of that, but I'm skeptical of it. I think if there is a mainline announcement next week, it's going to be for a game that'll come out sometime in early 2021. As someone that prefers Gen 2 over any other generation because that was my first generation and it was a very large generation, I actually would have preferred if there were to be a Gen 4 remake announcement, because we got Soul Silver Heart Gold a few years ago. We don't really need another Gen 2 game. We really need a Gen 4 remake in my opinion. But we also know that Pokemon Company really liked the success for Pokemon Let's Go, and they did say they were considering extending that series. So with that in mind, and the success for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, it definitely is in the cards for another Let's Go Pokemon game to come out. But also, if you look at the DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield, it's very apparent that Game Freak is moving in the direction of expanding upon the wild area concept. And that's a different style of gameplay from traditional Pokemon games. So, what may happen is that Game Freak and Pokemon Company may use the Let's Go series to have the more traditional style of Pokemon, but they'll still use the mainline series to grow with the wild area style of gameplay. So I'd say from a business perspective, it does make sense to continue the Let's Go series because there is an audience for that, and it will sell very well. And actually, there has been a fair bit of marketing or branding from Pokemon that suggests that maybe that's the direction that they're headed in. If you look at Pokemon Journeys, the two big legendary Pokemon that were focused on early on in the series were both Lugia and Ho-Oh, the main legendaries for Johto. But on top of that, in the Pokemon Presents, behind Ishihara there was a wall of plushies. Most of those plushies were from Generation 2. Politoed, Sudowoodo, Ampharos, and then Ho-Oh and Lugia, and then the Gen 2 starters Typhlosion and Feraligatr, along with the dogs Entei, Suicune, and Raikou. And then on the bottom right, we also had Espeon and Umbreon, the Gen 2 evolutions for Eevee. A great majority of the plushies in the background were all for Generation 2, and Game Freak and Pokemon Company do have a history of teasing their next Pokemon games. We've seen it in the past. In the few months leading into the announcement for Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, there was a fair bit of marketing material for both Pikachu and Eevee. We continually saw pictures of Eevee all throughout the world coming from the different Pokemon Twitter accounts. It was interesting and it seemed out of left field, but it was really all building up for the announcement for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Considering that there was a focus on Generation 2 in the background here during the Pokemon Presents and what's been going on with Pokemon Journeys and the different things we've seen, I don't think it would be crazy to think that they are perhaps teasing Generation 2 Let's Go remakes. I think that could maybe be happening. And on the note of Game Freak teasing potential future games, back in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, when you fought Sabrina for the second time, she said this: "I won't encounter a trainer like you for around another 3 years." See, what's interesting about this is that, well, if Let's Go Johto were to come out in 2021, which would make sense because it wouldn't get in the way of the DLC this year, but it could still come out early 2021, that would be 2021 versus 2018 when Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee came out. But also from a canonical perspective, the story that takes place in Johto takes place a few years after Kanto, so it kind of makes sense from that perspective as well. And I want to point out that Sabrina is a psychic. She can see into the future. So it's possible this just may have been a nod towards Generation 2, but it also may have been a tease for future Pokemon games, which Game Freak has been known to do throughout their different games. So I would say that there's a possibility that next week we will get some sort of presentation and it will be something that we're not talking about in this video. But I do think our best bet at this point from the evidence we have is that next week there will be a presentation announcing Pokemon Let's Go Johto. I don't think it will come out during these holidays because of the Crown Tundra DLC, but I do think it could perhaps be coming out later next year, not all the way in the holidays, but perhaps in the first half of the year, and then all of a sudden Game Freak is positioning their games to not always be the big holiday game, now that they're making their mainline games on the Nintendo Switch, which is both a handheld and a home console, so they have to sort of share the time slots for the bigger Nintendo games like Zelda and Mario. But also we have all these different teases with the strong Generation 2 focus of plushies in the background in the Pokemon Presents, with what we've seen in Pokemon Journeys with the focus on Lugia and Ho-Oh, and the potential teases we've seen from Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and of course from a business perspective continuing the Pokemon Go sort of craze, trying to get out another Pokemon Let's Go game after the original was so successful. It makes sense. So I could see this happening. This may very well be the case. It could be something else, maybe Gen 4 remakes, maybe another project we haven't really considered, but I'm gonna bet that it may very well be Pokemon Let's Go Johto, but we'll see. So those are my thoughts on the matter, guys. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that next week we will see an announcement for Pokemon Let's Go Johto, or will it be something else? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, everyone, this is On Just Restart, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care. Bye.